Hello there, Mr. Lee here, and today, Year 10s, we're going to look at what's going to be in your end-of-year exam for Classical Civilization. It's my favourite topic. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can show off on Rome, which is this city just behind me here, as well as wherever the Romans have been to in their conquering empire, all-winning thing. Okay, so what exactly does this exam involve? Well, it's 1 hour, 30 minutes, and if you're in extra time, it's a little bit more. So it's 90 minutes in total in case you can't do the maths, and that works out at roughly 1 mark per minute if you're not on extra time. I hear you ask, what exactly do you think will be in the exam? Well, I know that you're going to be assessed on all the possible things. You're not going to be asked off the world, but if you've got this document in front of you, it should be able to tell you exactly what you need to know. It's also got like a red, amber, green rating, so you can use that to work out how confident you feel about each of those topics. That would be great. This document actually has everything that you need to know for this topic, but some of the topics we haven't done yet. Oh, the camera moves with me. That's quite fun. So I've crossed out those topics so you know that they're not going to be in the exam. I've checked that through already, so you don't need to revise them as much. The way that I've done that document, some of those little topics are very specific. So it might look like there's a lot to know, but in actual fact, it's probably, well, you've learnt it all already. You probably have a good idea of what they are. Just try and think back to all the good times that we've had, okay? Well, what exactly does paper 1 involve? Well, it's the cultural side of it. So if you remember all the houses that we've studied, all the inscriptions and graffiti, all those sort of things about, that tells us a little bit about how the Romans lived, what the houses are like, what the society is like, and how they do leisure and entertainment. That's exactly it. You're going to get 1 15 marker, you're going to get 1 8 marker, and the rest of it would be on shorter questions. The shorter questions and the 8 marker would be going off some sources, and the 15 marker is kind of on your own. With the 15 marker, it tends to be on a topic that's different to the ones that you assessed on those source-based questions. So you really have to know some of those sources well and be able to apply that to a certain topic, especially when those sources, sometimes you need to use it even though it's not printed on the exam paper. So you need to know that they exist and you need to apply it appropriately. Now, on the 15 marker there, where no sources are provided, you can use any of the visual sources that we've used. That's Colosseum, for example, is a visual source. The graffiti counts as a visual source. And what else counts as a visual source? Anything that isn't a long piece of writing. Anything that's not lit, and I don't mean lit in that sense. So you can use all of that, but you can also use lit sources. And no, I don't mean lit in that sense either. On the other hand, if you've got a literature paper, then you can only use literature sources. The Pliny, the Horace, the Juvenal. Again, you might not have studied it all, but the ones that you've studied will certainly feature. Can I get this camera angle right? Yep, there we are. So 15 marker, 8 marker, and all the rest are short questions. With the short questions, the literature that is asking of, it'll be printed on there. These are source-based, but you need to interpret, go a little bit deeper into it. For example, if that source asks you about who was sat next to someone in a dinner party in Horace 2.8, you need to know that. If it asks you what else is a danger to the people walking through the streets of Rome in Juvenal, you need to be aware of that as well. With the 15 marker, you can only refer to literary sources. It'll probably give you a steer, like how does Horace and Juvenal talk about certain things, and you'll be expected to know everything that Horace and Juvenal talked about. I don't know, what life in city is like, or maybe how you should live your life, that sort of thing. Your literary sources are Horace, Juvenal, Pliny, and Petronius we haven't studied yet, so that won't be in your exam, but it will be in your actual GCSE exams, okay? And on the first page of the red, amber, green rating sheets, it will list all the prescribed sources that you need, but in terms of the literature, it will list that towards the end of that booklet. Okay, it's 90 minutes, but what exactly is that paper going to look like, I hear you ask? Well, this is the paper. But in the exam, you should also get an insert. This gives you all the sources. This is where you see the questions and write the answers. When you open the book, on each of those questions, it should tell you, right, section A, culture, study source A or something like that. It's the same on the literature section of the paper. So if I turn to the back of it, it will say literature, section B, study source Z. I'm not sure what that says, but you know then, oh, source A, source Z. I need to look at those sources. So if I have that insert paper next to me, I can find those sources. I think this one is source E here. For those questions, it says study a source, so make sure you actually look at the source, okay, make sure you answer relevant from it. Sometimes a question is as easy as picking out certain information in that source, so you don't necessarily even need to have prior knowledge in order to answer those questions. But obviously revise. This is not telling you not to revise. I would never say that. I hope that gives you an idea of what's going to be in your end of year exam. And if there's any questions, let me know. I'll put a link to this 2020 paper as well, so you can see actually what the paper looks like. Look, I've got faith in you. You can do it, all right? But only if you prepare for it. Because, you know, if you don't prepare for success, then it's technically a preparation for failure. Don't actually know how that quotes. I should have prepared for this, shouldn't I? Anyway, do well.